Welcome to the check-in report. Welcome to the check-in report. I am your humble host, True and Living. The show will start soon. We're about to rock out real quick.
Daddy wanna ride into the morning sun. Tryna tell me love you are the only one. She drive the boat, tryna smoke while she hold my gun. Tryna tell me love you are the only one. She's wanna be my seat with the
Rest in peace to Foolio. Julio Foolio.
Cause I am the only one. She's wanna be my seat with the recline, even though she be fine.
How can we save? How can we save the next rapper?
Shut up, trees. She stay with the streets. I heard it, I wanna hear. I'm smoking the woods. She all know it, I'm writing the mess. She told me how it feels. She know what it is. I come in the vet. I come for respect.
How can we save the next rapper from an untimely demise?
That's how it is. She on her knees. She just on the police. She know what it is.
What are we gonna do as a community, as a hip-hop community, to save these young men?
And drinking do say.
I want to talk a little bit about that tonight.
Shawty wanna pull up. Saying that she not a bimbo when she ride on.
The OGs need to be stepping in.
Oh, she drop the bottle.
The elder statesmen need to be stepping in to help these young men.
Oh, she tryna pull up. Oh, she tryna pull up.
How many more rappers are we going to allow this to happen to?
Daddy wanna ride into the morning sun. Tryna tell me love you are the only one. She drive the boat, tryna smoke.
Rest in peace to Foolio.
Tryna tell me love you are the only one. She's wanna be my.
But also rest in peace and condolences to the families, of the person that he was dissing.
My seat with the recline, even
Condolences to their families,
these are just because I am the.
because I'm not rocking with that neither.
Outside of town, girl, you know it's going down. You crazy.
We're gonna get into that too.
Out the boat, get dope, and stay wavy. You fucking trees.
Stop dissing the deceased. Stop dissing the deceased. Let your beef, leave it in the cemeteries. A lot of you young men, you're still dissing dead people. They're no longer here. Why are you dissing the deceased? You look like a fool. You look like an idiot.
Bitch be rocking Prada, only McDonald's.
And it just opens up the door for people to dish you if something happens to you, God forbid.
Easy, you don't faze me. You fucking crazy. You ain't gon'
Sad stuff, nasty work.
Daddy wanna ride into the morning sun. Tryna tell me love you are the only one. She drive the boat, tryna smoke while she hold my gun. Tryna tell me love you are the only one. She's wanna be my seat with the recline, even though she be fine, hit her with a decline. Is it just because I am the only one? She's wanna be my seat with the recline, even though she be fine, hit her with a decline. Is it just because I am the only one?
Welcome to the Check-In Report. I am your humble yet gracious host, True and Living. I'm not your homie. I'm the one and only Macaroni. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We're here to talk about Julio Foolio, Jacksonville, Florida rapper who met his untimely demise this morning on his 26th birthday. We're here to talk about the Jacksonville, Florida rapper, and we're here to talk about, how can we prevent this from happening to the next rapper? I mean, how many times are we going to see this happen in the news? I mean, from the Pop Smokes to the Draco the Rulers to the Nipsey Hussles. I mean, how many times are we gonna sit here and see this happen? See this thing occur, XXX Tentacion. I mean, we continually see rapper after rapper perish in the streets. And I'm sick of it. I want somebody to step in. I want the elder statesmen to step in. I want the OGs to step in. I want, something to happen. And I'm tired of the narrative. You don't see this happen in country music. You don't see this happen in pop music. You don't see this happen in rock music. It's only rap music that you see this happen. And don't get me wrong, I know a lot of these young men, these young artists are perpetuating the stereotype of, some of them are dissing dead ops, some of them are gang affiliated, some of them are perpetuating a gangster lifestyle. I understand all of that, but something has to done. It has to be done. We have to change the narrative. And I put a voting in the thing. How do we prevent the next slain rapper? We got people already voting on there. Continue to vote on that. But if you don't know who Julio Foolio is, he's a Jacksonville, Florida rapper. Um, Jacksonville, Florida rapper. And he has been dissing. I believe that the young man's name is Young Asian, right? He had the popular song, "Who I Smoke." Nah, nah, who I smoke, right? So he was pretty much dissing the dead, dissing the deceased. That's how he rose to prominence with that "Who I Smoke" song. And Fulio, he's another dude from Florida. These guys have been entrenched in a battle. These guys have been entrenched in a war in the streets. And he clapped back when the young Asian, he had a birthday party, right? He had a birthday party. Either he had a birthday party or one of his friends had a birthday party. The young man was turning no. Either Asian or his friend had a birthday party, right? The man's name was 2-3, which we're gonna get to why this story is spooky. The man's name was 2-3, right? Um, the man lost his life. Him and two more of his friends lost their lives that night. And Fulio, who's a rival of these people, a rival of this gang, he makes a song called "When I See You," where he's pretty much dissing the three men that has lost their lives. One of the names, one of the names of the man was 2-3. He's dissing on him. He's talking about how he lost his life on his birthday and things like that. That's what Fulio did. If you don't know, if you ever seen the video, it's called "When I See You." He's at the cemetery. He's carrying a sign. He's dissing the dead. He's at the grave site pointing at things and stuff like that. It's a real disrespectful video. Um, but people are calling this spooky because he lost his life. Fulio, he lost his life on the 23rd. The man that he was dissing was called 2-3. Not only that, he was dissing a man for losing his life on his birthday. Fulio was shot and killed on his birthday. That happened this morning. And people are saying it's very spooky. It's very spooky. All in all, the young generation, they have this obsession with dissing the deceased. You see it in drill rap, you see it in the Florida music, you see it in the Chicago music. The young people have no respect for the deceased. I'm from the era of, you know, when the beef is cooked, the beef is cooked. When the beef is cooked well done, it's over. When someone has lost their life, when someone's no longer here, they're deceased, they're dead, you don't carry that beef on. You don't start dissing their corpse and start dissing the dead and say you're smoking on them. But the young generation, they're obsessed with it. They don't talk about smoking on packs. They dissing the dead. I mean, it's really juvenile and really just sick all in all. Um, and a lot of people, I even seen Charleston White. He had no sympathy for Fulio because he talked about how he perpetuated a gangster lifestyle. He dissed on people that were deceased. So he had no respect for it. Me personally, I'm gonna say condolences to Fulio's family because I know this is a very sad time. It's a very sad and traumatic event that has happened to their family. Um, but I mean, it's almost like a double-edged sword because the man was dissing on the deceased. These young men were never here. They weren't here. And he was dissing on these young men. So it's a sad situation through and through. But how can we prevent these things from happening? How can we prevent the next young rapper being slain in the street? How can we prevent that from occurring anymore? I want to hear some suggestions. Maybe we got some people in here. Maybe we have some people that could give me some insight. I see Fredro is in here. Salute to Fredro. Fredro says, it's a lifestyle, boss. This is what they look for. It all begins in the home. We need two-parent homes, dad, mom, If we don't start there, it just ain't happening. It also says, and then not only two parent homes, they need to be parenting and not their friends. I agree with that. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. You know, I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Um, I agree. I do think we need more two parent homes. I mean, clearly, if your kid is in the street and he's gang banging and he's making records about dissing the deceased, clearly, clearly, there's no parents in the home guiding that young man and telling him that this is not cool, this is not funny, you shouldn't be doing this. Clearly, there's no guidance. Clearly, there's no assistance in the parenting department. Salute to Nelly. Nelly's in the building. Salute to Nelly. Nelly says this happened right around the corner from my apartment. Oh, really? I know you're from Florida, Nelly. That's crazy. So it happened not too far from you. Yeah. Are you familiar with Julio, Nelly? Foolio? Not Julio. They call him Julio Foolio, but his rap name is Foolio. Are you familiar with Foolio, Nelly? One of his biggest songs was called "When I See You." If you ever saw the video, he's actually at a cemetery and he's dissing the dead. He's dissing the people that dissing three people who lost their lives. He's at a cemetery. He's pouring up some champagne and he's mocking the dead, and he's pretty much taunting young Asian, the other crew that he was going at. Those were his brothers. Those were his friends, and he's mocking them. He's mocking the dead. I mean, let me know. Have you heard of him? Are you familiar with young Foolio? You know what I mean? But I want to hear some suggestions on, what can we do to prevent this? Outside of, because Fredro did talk about how you need two parent homes. I agree. Nathan says Gucci Man, no Diddy. That's a hard song. I did like that song. That's a hard song that Gucci put out. I do like that song. I do like that song. No Diddy. Gucci Man, no Diddy. But how can we prevent the next Foolio from happening in the street? I have to ask this. Where are the OGs? Where are the OGs? Why aren't the OGs like, and that's why people say hip hop is not a culture. It's more so of a genre now. It's not a culture. Because a culture has parameters, a culture has a committee, a culture has rules. There's no rules, there's no committee, there's no parameters within hip hop. It's almost like, the wild wild west almost. Um where are the OGs helping these young men that have come into money, come into some fame? Like, why isn't Foolio being mentored by, I'm gonna say Florida rappers, young Rick Ross or Trick Daddy or Trina? Like, why aren't those elder statesmen putting their arms around the young Foolio and telling him, listen, man, I know you made these songs about dissing the dead, but listen, don't do that no more. Get your money, apologize to the victims and to the people, and move on with your career, because you're going to have this dark cloud over your career, and these people are going to be after you for the rest of your life. I think you should kind of clean up your image. Like, why don't we see the elder statesmen putting that arm around a Foolio, putting that arm around these young men that are dissing the deceased? I think we need that. We need, elder statesmen to help and guide and mold the young minds, mentor them, if you will. I really think that could possibly help. That could give them a positive influence, because let's be real. If Foolio sees a Rick Ross who's a multi-millionaire and he sees how successful he is, that could be a good mentor for him. That could show him, listen, I don't have to be dissing deceased people and acting like a fool and stuff like that. I could live a lifestyle like a Rick Ross. So it's almost like, a mentor. It's almost like something to aspire to, right? Let me look at the comment section. Nelly says, I have never heard his music. No, I don't know who this artist is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, he's pretty popular in the Jacksonville, Florida scene. He's been dissing Young Asian. I believe that's the dude's name. Young Asian actually dissed his friends, from what I'm hearing, because they had a song "Who I Smoke." And then who I smoke, where they're pretty much dissing the dead. So it's really like a back and forth thing, right? It's really like a back and forth thing. Now I'm not too connected or knowledgeable on the Florida streets. There is a lot of gang activity that is happening between those two factions, but I don't know the name of the gangs. I don't know what's been happening, but I know that people have been losing their lives, and there have been records of people dissing the deceased, if you will. But something needs to happen. And what ultimately can we do to prevent it? How can we prevent the next Folio? How can we prevent the next Pop Smoke? How can we prevent the next Draco the Ruler? How can we prevent it? I want to know how we can prevent it. I want to try to prevent this from happening anymore. Um these are some of the things that I put out there in terms of how we could end it, some things that maybe we could look into, maybe some things we could talk about. I said, how do we prevent the next slain rapper? The first thing was stop dissing the deceased. The second thing was more positive music, and the second thing was you can't stop it. Sadly, now let me get into more positive music. Let me get into that for a second, right? Let me get into that. Why are the record labels, the respectfully, the Jewish ran record labels, why are they pumping drill music, like music that is trained for black on black crime? It's almost like what gangster rap was in the night. Remember when gangster rap came out, like the NWAs and the Ice Cubes and the Dr. Dre's and the Snoops and the Tupac. It's almost like when that music came out, it was more of a heightened of violence. You've seen more violence. They had the term super predators and stuff like that. It was almost like the soundtrack to black on black violence. And now when we look to 2024, that still continues. You still have drill music that's prevalent. You still have the Chicago drill, the New York drill, the Florida rappers, they're in the drill. So you still see these things carrying on. Why are these labels funding music that fuels black on black crime? Think about it. Think about it. They would never sign a rapper that had an anti-Semitic message. They would never sign a rapper who had an anti-Asian rhetoric in his music. But they continue to sign rappers who have the black on black crime agenda in their music. Should we hold the record label? Should we hold the people who have been sponsoring and getting behind his music? I'm going to look up his record label, but should we be looking at them in terms of culpability, in terms of why this young man lost his life? Because they're the ones putting the marketing dollars behind him, dissing the dead ops and dissing, deceased people and dissing other gang members. They're funding it. They're funding that message. They're getting behind it. They're, allowing it. So maybe we should be looking at these record labels. Now, let me look up his record label real quick. Folio. Let me just look this up because I don't know who he's signed to. He may be independent, he may be independent. I don't know. Let me see though. Folio, okay. Let me see if he signed to somebody. His last album. Okay, Correct Music Group. Okay, Correct Music Group. So he signed to maybe like an indie or something like that. Correct Music Group. It looks like an indie label. Yeah. I think he signed to a indie label or a subsidiary type of label situation. He signed to something. He signed to something. It's called Corate Music Group. Let me just look this up real quick. Corate Music Group. This will do some research on who owns Corate. Because sometimes these indie labels are owned by major labels. Sometimes Corate Music. Hold on. Corate Music Group. Let me see. Okay, I'm looking. I'm seeing now. Owners. Let me see who owns Corate Music Group. There you go. I had a feeling I would see a white face behind this record label. Hold on. Jonathan Strauss. Jonathan Strauss. Jonathan Strauss and COO Alexandra Williams own Corate Music Group. So pretty much, there's a white face behind this, behind these music. It's a gender-based music that is trained for black on black crime. I just want to do my research. Sometimes you gotta go down the rabbit hole to find some things. And I'm just doing my research. I just want to see, because you have these labels. They're the ones funding it. Yeah, you could blame the rapper. The rapper's creating the music, but who's funding these rappers? Who's giving these rappers money to make this type of music? Who's funding them? Who's putting them on tours and saying, "Hey, get on stage and diss all your dead ops. Get in the music video and diss all the niggas from that block you don't like." Like, who's funding it? Who's funding that toxic music, that toxic lifestyle? Who's funding it? Because they're just as culpable, in my opinion. Nelly says they do be having insurance policies on artists. That's an absolute fact. They do be having insurance policies on artists, because that's pretty much what they want. They want their artists to perish in the streets so they can profit off of them. Because if an artist perishes in the streets, you probably make more money, because you think about it. You already own the masters. You own the master recordings. You own all the singles. You own all of the stuff. If they perish in the streets, the streams go up. The only person that benefits is you. You're gonna benefit them. You probably give their family some big check. They probably go on their way. You know what I mean? And you keep all the master recordings. You keep all the streaming money. You keep all of that. You know. And you get the insurance policy. Big Will says he's dead now. His death has caused his name to buzz, and his numbers will rise for the next week or so. That's a fact. People who don't know about Foolio will now listen to his music and look him up, which will raise numbers in his favor. I agree. And that's exactly what the labels want. Like, when they have a deceased artist, they know good and well that the streaming numbers are gonna go up. The streaming numbers are gonna skyrocket. They're gonna go through the roof, because that's normally what happens. People want to know who the rapper is. They want to know what he was about, what he was rapping about, who he was rapping to, who he was dissing. A lot of people, they want to do their research. Oh, who was he dissing on this record? Is that why he got ultimately shot at his birthday party? People want to do the research on why things happen. So ultimately, his streams will go up. But who benefits from that? If Foolio was signed to a 360 deal by this Corate Music Group, the only person that's going to benefit from this is the record label, because they probably had an insurance policy on him, and they own all the master recordings, so they're going to wind up getting all the money. They probably give the family a small percentage of the streaming numbers, cut them a big check, boom. Meanwhile, the record label, they run off with the insurance policy. They run off with the money from the streaming, and the family just get this big check, and it is going on, and they go on their way. That's what happens a lot of the times, We got 14 votes. Let me just look at these votes real quick. 14 votes. How do we prevent the next slain rapper? 29% says stop dissing the deceased. 14% says more positive music, and 57% says you can't, sadly. which is a sad reality, to an extent. Can you stop it? Can we stop the next Foolio? Can we? Because at the end of the day, these young kids are going to do what they want to do. If these young kids want to get on a record and diss one of their dead ops, we can't stop them. There's freedom of speech. If it's the in thing to do, if it's the trendy thing to do, to diss your dead ops, to diss somebody who's deceased, if that's the trendy thing to do, if that's what's going to get the most clicks, the kids are going to do it. Because they know that it's going to be marketable. They know it's going to get some traction. So ultimately, who's going to stop them from doing it? Nobody. Nobody's going to stop them from doing it. So sadly, I agree. It's by no coincidence that's the number one choice. Because sadly, you can't stop it. Because we live in America. It's always going to be crime. It's going to be people. Rappers are always going to get preyed on, right? Because their whole lifestyle is jewelry, money, cars. I got the baddest chicks, and most people are envious of that. Most people don't want to see you have those things, or they feel like you're not deserving of those things, and they feel like, listen, man, you soft, I could take that from you. So more than likely, you're going to see instances of rappers getting preyed on, whether it be by them being victimized by something they have, or whether it be being victimized because maybe they diss somebody on a record, gang violence or something like that, of that nature. That's always going to be prevalent in the game, Chupacabra says, Florida rappers need to move to a different state. That's why I left Florida. Too much chaos. We can stop if they go to, we can stop it if they go to a country that don't have guns like Japan. I agree. Nelly says these dudes that should be called first for the draft. That's an absolute fact. That's an absolute fact, Nelly. If you in the hood running around, you got about 10 bodies on your gun, you need to be in the draft. Your country, your hot damn country needs you. You catching all these bodies in the hood, we're gonna put you on a 757 Boeing. We're going to throw you out the plane with an M16 and a parachute, and you're going to fight for this damn country. That's an absolute fact. We absolutely should do that. In terms of what Chupacabra said, in terms of rappers leaving the places that they're from, most rappers do that. Chief Keef, he had to move. He had to get out of Chicago because it was just getting too hot. He was a target. It was no way he could have stayed in Chicago. Lil Boosie, he talks about how he had to get out of Louisiana. He couldn't live there no more. You have to pick up and leave, because if you're really deeply entrenched in the streets, if you really have close ties to the streets where you are gang affiliated, or maybe there's people that's in your circle, or maybe even you that probably have a body on you, or maybe even if the police department in your community, they know you and they know that you're a criminal and they know that you're filthy, but you somehow got this rap career, they don't want to see you make it neither. They hounding you. So it's all different types of elements, all different types of things, whether it be the criminal aspect, whether it be the police, that's working against you if you stay in the town that you're from. So it's always going to be in your best interest as a rapper who's successful to get out of the town that you're from, because it's not going to work in your favor. You're just going to be easy pickings for the community, right? You're going to be a walking lick running around the community, and, something, may happen to you, sadly. It does happen. Hey, we got 14 people in here. I need you to hit the like button. We're going to stop the show for 1 second. Hit that like button. That's a warning. Warning. We got 14 people in here. I need you to hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Check in. That is a warning. Warning. I need you to stop whatever you're doing right now. You know, some of y'all niggas, you're probably clipping your toenails. You know, I don't know what you're doing right now. Maybe you're laying on your bed, you know, on your stomach with your feet in the air, watching me. I need you to stop whatever you're doing right now. Hit that like button. That is a warning.
Warning, warning, warning.
Hit that damn like button. All right, get them likes up. Get those subscribers up. I need you to do that for me. But in terms of this whole debacle, man, Foolio losing his life. I mean, and what do y'all think of that? You know, let me just lay it out because some of y'all probably didn't hear the story, right? Let me just lay this story out for y'all, right? In terms of Foolio. All right. Foolio dissed on a man. The name of the man was called 2-3, right? His name was 2-3, right? 2-3 lost his life on his birthday. Foolio makes a song. It's called When I See You. In the song When I See You, he talks about 2-3 losing his life on his birthday, right? He disses him, he berates him. Foolio, years later, he loses his life on his birthday. And what's today? It's the 23rd. Spooky, very spooky, right? And in that thing, it's like, bro, like, we have to stop dissing the deceased, man. People have to stop doing that. You know, it's really just juvenile. It's really just like, you know, like let the beef go away. Let the beef go away. The person's no longer here. At this point, you're beefing with a corpse. You're beefing with an entity that's no longer here in the flesh and spirit, is no longer here. Why are you dissing this person that's no longer here? The youth has a real issue with that. They continue to do it. We continue to see it. I mean, from GBD Duck, from Duck. I forgot the initials. From Duck though. From Duck from Chicago. He made a song called Dead Bitches, where he was dissing the deceased. And now we have Foolio, and there's been other rappers who have done this thing, and it's really just a very vile and disgusting trend that continues to happen in hip hop. We need to, you know, get away from that. We need to get away from the dissing of the dead ops and the dissing the deceased. It's just real juvenile, you know. And now, how do and think about this too? How do you expect the families to react to that, right? Let's say you have this big hit record that's blowing up in the streets. It's everywhere. It's blowing up everywhere. And you have this record where you're dissing the deceased. People's families are going to have to hear this record. You don't know who it is. It could be somebody's cousin. It could be somebody's little brother. It could be somebody's auntie. And they're at a club and this record comes on, dissing their family member, dissing their loved one. They have to go through that. They have to heal from that, and now you're taunting them. That's real. How do you expect the families to cope with that? Could you blame them for picking up a firearm and picking up something and coming to see where you at? Coming to address you for what you did to their family member. Coming to address you for making this record disrespecting them. That's what's happening a lot of the times, you know, because you've made this hit record, you've made this big record dissing the deceased, and people's families ain't rocking with it. They're not rocking with you. They're absolutely disgusted that you would even do that, and to take the time to even disrespect them. Let me get to some of these comments in here. Nelly says they're rapping and pissing on people's graves. I'm not surprised though, because we had OG shooting up churches during funerals. Their seed ain't going to have respect either for the deceased. I agree. You know, it's just out of hand. It's just way out of hand. It's gone overboard. You know, And it's like a sad trend. Trooper Cabra says, "Leave dead people alone. Don't bring it to the beef." I agree. You know, they don't want to let sleeping dogs lie. When something like that happens, let it go. Why are we still carrying on this beef? Like, if the person is no longer here, who are you beefing with? You know, who are you beefing with? It just doesn't make sense to me. It's absolutely sad. It's absolutely disgusting. But it's in the hip hop lexicon now. It's in the hip hop lexicon. It's almost like you can't. And when it comes to those, when it comes to those drill records or those types of records, it's almost like you have to do that. It's almost like if you make a drill record or you make a record like that and you're not doing that and you're not like dissing the deceased, it's almost like it's not hard enough. It's not gangster enough. It's not, it's not really hard or, vicious enough to be considered a drill record if you're not doing that, which is absolutely ridiculous. But I really wanted to talk about how we could prevent this from happening. How can we prevent it? How can we prevent it? I haven't heard any suggestions. Is there anybody in here with any suggestions? How can we prevent it outside of two parents in the home? I mean, that's not a bad suggestion. How else can we prevent it? Outside of two parents in the home. Two parents in the home is a good start. But how else can we stop it? Out of 20 votes, people are saying they're mostly saying you can't stop it. 65% says that you cannot stop it. Some people are saying more positive music. Some people are saying stop dissing the deceased. I agree. But I do want to know what you guys think. What do you guys think? How do you think we could stop the next rapper from losing their lives? I mean, think about all the rappers we've lost. Pop Smoke, Drakeo the Ruler, XXX Tentacion, Takeoff, Nipsey Hussle. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of rappers losing their lives from gun violence. It continues to go on. We continue to see it. On and on and on. When will the cycle stop? How can we end the narrative? If you look at any other genre, you look at rock and roll, you look at jazz, you look at pop music, country music, they're not dealing with this. They're not dealing with, Kenny Chesney can't go to the liquor store and pick up a bottle of Fireball because, one of his ops might catch him at the parking meter. Or Justin Bieber, he can't walk the streets of Beverly Hills because he's not checked in with the Pyrus. I mean, like you don't see no other genre of music dealing with this outside of hip hop. How can we change the narrative? How can we fix it? There has to be something that we can do as a hip hop community, as a hip hop populace. There's something that maybe we can do to stop it. There has to be. There has to be something that we can do to stop it. Nelly says, that's why I believe these ain't even humans. They're demons, cloaked in human skin. The real Julio been gone a long time ago. That's a possibility. Maybe he was just on demon time. Maybe he was just on demon time and that's just how he been moving, Maybe. I wouldn't rule that out, Nelly. I would not rule that out. But we've seen a lot of these young men from these communities, they have reformed. You don't think that, a lot of these rappers from back in the day, Gucci Man, Young Jeezy, you don't think that they was on this type of timing when they were in these communities, doing whatever they was doing, whether it was selling drugs or whether they was gang affiliated? You don't think they was a part of this stuff as well? It was just the fact that, they got out of it, They've had a chance to reform. They've had a chance to change their lives. They realized that that's not the life that they were that they wanted for themselves, and they've moved on and they've they're on to greener pastures. Some of these young men need to be reformed. You know, they haven't been taught a better way. They haven't been taught that they have more to offer themselves, more to life than just dissing on the deceased and gang banging and this, that, and the third. Some of them haven't learned that. Some of them haven't had that. They haven't had that. Awakening, if you will, yet. Nelly says that's why. Oh, okay, you said that. Okay. But yeah, I want to know you guys' suggestions, man. How can we fix the streets? How can we fix the next rapper from dissing the deceased? How can we fix it? How can we stop it? Can we stop it? I would like to know some suggestions. Do we need recreational centers? More outreach centers. Should we go after the record labels and say, well, you can't make no more drill rappers. You can't make any more drill content. Like what should we do? I want to hear it. I'm all ears for it. I'm definitely all ears for it. I realize I haven't been playing my music this whole time. Finally got my music on. Yeah, man. Chupacabra says, LOL, you running for president the way you sound, trying to get policies in place. I'm not trying to get no policies in place. I'm trying to find an answer to what's going on in the neighborhoods. Maybe we can save a young man's life. That's what I'm trying to do. Nelly says most of these mainstream rappers have been proven to over exaggerate, flat out lie. Yeah, that's true. Some of them really ain't locked in like they say they are, really gang as you would say. Some of them have been faking the funk, but some of them have been reliving their life. Some of them have really been fresh out of the streets, fresh out of the jam. So I can't say that all of them are lying. Some of them are, some of them ain't though. Some of them ain't. Clearly Foolio had one foot in the streets. But if these people were after him, whether it be from something he did, or whether it be from him making that record, clearly he had one foot in the streets in some way or fashion. If these people are after him, and he knows about all of these things that occurred between these different gang sets and these gang violence happening. Clearly he knew something was going on, But how can we prevent it? How can we stop the next Foolio from happening? How can we stop the next Pop Smoke from happening? I'm interested in that answer. It seems like to me that nobody in here has an answer. And the reason why nobody in here has an answer. The reason nobody in here has an answer is because they don't know how to stop it. That's what I'm getting, because I haven't heard an answer yet. I actually heard one answer. Someone gave one answer. They said that better parenting. That was actually not too bad of an answer. But outside of that, I haven't heard anything else. S. Merp says it's foolish. It is foolish. It absolutely is. Nelly says, true for president 2024. Yeah, I'm running, man. I'm running for president. I'm trying to help the streets, man. I'm about to pull up to the hood like Donald Trump. I'm about to pull up to the hood like Donald Trump, man. For real. Let me just look at the voting. Look at the voting on here real quick. Out of 23 votes, majority people are saying you can't, sadly. That's sad, man. That's sad. So that just means that we're just going to see more rappers perish in the streets. That's what I'm hearing. Nelly says, true, I'm going to be your Secretary of Defense. Yeah, you be in there shutting people down, Nelly. Yeah, I'm going to need you for that. Yeah, definitely. You be quick on the button. All right, I need people quick on the button. I need you quick on the launch codes. That's a fact. Yeah, man. I need you for Secretary of Defense. Yeah, but all in all, I just want to talk about this Foolio thing. I didn't plan on really being on here too long, just based off the fact that it's really hot in my room right now. I just wanted to talk about this story, give people my opinion, see how people would like what is your answer to the violence happening in the hip hop community? What is your answer? What is your solution to help these rappers? Because we continue to see slain rapper after slain rapper in our community, and I just wanted to hear what you guys maybe could be an answer to how we could solve these things. Relatively, I didn't really get any answers. But it just is what it is, But I do want to say before I get off the stream, condolences to Foolio's family. Condolences, man. Because at the end of the day, people are going to troll Foolio, especially like his ops. People are going to look at it as karma and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we have to, let's be respectful of his family, because his family is probably innocent in all of this. His family, I'm sure his mother or his brothers or his sisters or his nieces or his nephews or his grandmother or his auntie, they don't have nothing to do with him dissing the deceased. They don't have nothing to do with him acting like a fool. They don't have nothing to do with him, they don't have nothing to do with that. They just realize that he's a rapper going after his passion, and they love him as a family member. I have condolences for them. I hope that they have some healing. I hope that they get some healing from this traumatic experience, and I also wish for condolences to the families that he dissed. Because I'm sure that there was a lot of families that were hurt by his words, that were hurt by the things that he said. He was dissing people that were no longer here to even respond to what he was saying. So I definitely want to send condolences to the families that, to the people that he dissed. I want to send condolences to them as well, because that was also sad, and it was very juvenile, very disgusting of him to even do that. Let your beefs stay where they are. Let them stay in the cemetery. You over here still dissing the deceased for what? They're no longer here. It's crazy. S. Merp says, when the last day come like a thief in the night, it'll be over. That's a fact. Nelly says, pull up with them gold Trump 23. The 23 shoes, right? The Donald Trump shoes. Yeah. Yeah, man. I ain't gonna lie. I would get them shoes too. I ain't gonna lie. I would definitely get them shoes. The 23s, the gold Trump 23s. I would sport those, I would definitely sport those shoes. I don't think those shoes are a bad look. Just me personally. I don't think those shoes are a bad look. I don't think those shoes are a bad look. We got 24 votes in there. We got about 14 people in here. Continue to hit that like button. Continue to hit that subscribe button. How long I been on here? Because I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of hot. It's kind of hot up here, y'all. It's kind of hot. It's kind of hot right now. It's kind of hot. Salute to Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi says, better parenting sounds nice, not glorifying dumbassery. Might be good also. You definitely can mitigate some of it, but people may not want to or believe you can. That's true. That's definitely true. I think I'm gonna say this, right? I'm gonna say this definitely before I get out of here. I think that hip hop needs to have a committee and a committee. We need a committee. We need elder statesmen. If we're going to acknowledge as hip hop, let me take that back. If we're going to acknowledge hip hop as a culture, right? Because a lot of people love to throw that word around, culture. Well, if you look at any culture, right? They have committees, they have rules, they have parameters. Look at any other culture on this planet. Look at the Jewish culture. Look at the Muslim culture. Look at the Asian culture. They have rules and parameters. They have committees. They have people to answer to. They have people helping shape it, guide it in the right direction. That's what hip hop needs more than ever. We need a committee. We need a committee to call out these record labels that's funding these rappers dissing on the deceased. To call out these rappers for doing that, calling out these labels for funding it, call out these culture vultures, ripping off hip hop. We need a committee in hip hop. I think that it's been running like the wild, wild west for a very long time. And I think that, a lot of the elder statesmen with some coof, with some righteousness about them should be running a committee. Try to get this culture back on the right, we should have more Kendrick Lamars and J. Cole's and Drake's and less, drill rappers. We really should. And I'm not trying to point out Foolio, because he's not the only one. He's not the only one that has done this. So it'll be unfair to just point him out. But we need more Kendrick Lamars, more J. Cole's, more Drake's in our hip hop culture, and less drill rappers. We should have less of that. S. Merp says your parents are not responsible for your sins. That's true. That's true. But at the end of the day, good parenting, even the Bible says, train up a child in the way so he may not depart from it. Even the Bible says that. So a lot of it has to do with bad parenting, Esmer, whether you like it or not. A lot of it is bad habits. You had a lot of these, no disrespect to black women, I don't like to generalize, but you had a lot of these single mothers, they was raising these black men. They was playing Little Boosie in the back seat. They was playing Gucci Man in the back seat, or whatever it was in the time. Maybe it was Trick Daddy back in the day. Maybe it was 2 Live Crew. They pumping these young kids with all this ghetto-fied ghetto music. They're not breaking it down. They're not telling them, okay, this is just entertainment. This is not how you should live. This is not how you should move. You should value education. You should have some morality. You should have some coof. You should have manners. You shouldn't be a gang member. You shouldn't be a gangster. You shouldn't sell drugs. They didn't break down these things to these young men, and by the time they came of age, they thought it was okay to be a gangster. They thought it was okay to be in the hood and throw up a gang sign and all this other next stuff and sell drugs. They thought it was okay. They didn't train up their child like they should be, or that they should, because I know when I was younger, my parents was breaking it down. My parents wasn't allowing me to just be some gang member and have my pants hanging out off my ass and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. Did I make mistakes? Did I always do what was right? No. But at the end of the day, my parents gave me the blueprint. Now, if your parents are there to give you the blueprint, at least they're giving you something to aspire to. They're giving you something to train you up in a way that you should be, or something for you to be like. And of course, friends and stuff like that also plays a role into it, bad influences. But, it really is parenting. It really is bad parenting. And, people not watching over their children, people allowing music and video games and television to train up their children. And then you wonder why these kids turn up the way they are. Because you're not breaking anything, you're not breaking any of this stuff down. You're not raising your child. You're allowing music and Trick Daddy and Gucci Man and NBA Youngboy to raise your children, Somebody says Trick love the kid. Yeah, that used to be the phrase back in the day. Trick love the kids. Well, yeah, Thugs R Us and all of that back in the day. www.thug.com. Yeah, I remember Trick Daddy. Trick Daddy used to be the man back in the day. He's looking like a California raisin these days, but he was the man back in the day. Fire, 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 fire. I seen Trick Daddy one day. I was like, going through the grapevine. Let me stop. Salute to Trick Daddy, man. Salute to Trick Daddy, It looked like he can't put down the hog mog, man. He can't put down the hog mog. It's all good, man. He can't put down the hog mog. Salute to him. S. Merp says, my dad couldn't save me. My dad taught me my first science project with electricity. It's not his fault I went astray. Nah, but see, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that, S. Merp. I'm not saying that your parents is not gonna do everything right and you're still gonna fail. That's not what I'm saying. Yes, does that happen? Yeah, that does happen. But I'm saying that if your parents are there to teach you, you have a better chance than somebody that doesn't have a parents teaching you. Think about it. Who would be in a better situation, Esmer? Think about it. Who would be in a better situation? A kid with two parents in the home that is teaching him to be a good person, a good human being, teaching him responsibility, teaching him morals, teaching him how to be respectful of others. Who would be in a better situation, a kid like that or a kid that's growing up in a single parent home? His mother is never home because she works late, so he's watching himself. He's watching his favorite rappers on TV all the time. All of his friends are bad influences. They're all in gangs. They're all selling drugs. There's no father figures. There's nobody to help him, to guide him, to shape his mind, shape his ideal, his character in life. Who would be in a better situation? I would say the kid with two parents in a home that's teaching him something. He would be in a better situation than the kid that has no type of guidance whatsoever. It's a fact. Fire, 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 fire. You know? Nelly says, not a California raisin. Yeah, man. Trick, man. Trick daddy, man. Mr. Miyagi says, that's not what better parenting would help means. He's talking to Murph. Okay. Well, listen, man. You know, I don't know what's going to stop the next rapper from being slain, but I think that we should be doing something. You know, whether it's going to be better positive messages in the music, whether it's going to be, you know, people stop dissing the deceased. I don't know what it's going to ultimately be, but we need to do something as a hip-hop community. Something needs to happen. Something needs to move. Something needs to occur for us to get out of that funk, to get out of that way of thinking, out of that way of life. You know, something needs to happen now, not tomorrow, now. Fire, 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 fire. And that's just my opinion on it, you know? It really is just my opinion on it. You know? Unknown says, stop listening to rap music. I disagree, because there is positive rap music. All rap music isn't bad. It's like any other genre. There's positive rap music. Maybe it's not being marketable. It's not being marketed to you. It's not being pumped in your streaming services, but it does exist. You know? So I don't think rap in general is the problem. It's the messages that's being pushed in rap, maybe. Nelly says, my dad did a great job raising me on his own. He put me up on game and taught me my worth as a lady. That's what's up. Shout out to that black man, you know? That's what good parents do, you know? They put you up on game and they try to help you. No Reply says, remember what my papa told me. There's 10 rules to the game, but I'll share with you too. No ninja's gonna hate you for whatever you do. That's true. Yeah, niggas gonna hate you. Niggas gonna hate. You know, that's kind of true. I agree with that. PZ Pete says, what up though, from Detroit. Shout out. No Reply says, now rule number 2 is a hard one. Watch for phonies. Keep your enemies close. Ninjas watch your homies. Yeah, I guess that's true. You gotta watch your friends. I told you. I said it before in the stream. You know, picking the right set of friends is very important. You know, it's very important. You know, it could be a life or death situation for your kid. If your kid has bad friends, it could be a life or death situation for your kid. You know. So making sure your kid has the right set of friends around him is very important. No question. That is an absolute fact. We got 20 people in here. I need you to hit that like button. Hit that like button, man. That is a warning. Hit that like button, man. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hold on. I think we kind of frozen a little bit. Are we frozen? I don't know what's going on. There we go. Yeah, I need y'all to hit that like button. Hit that like button. That is a warning. We got 20 people in here. Hit that like button. That is a warning. Warning, 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 warning. We got 22 people in here. I need y'all to hit that like button. That is a warning. Warning, 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 warning. I need y'all to also hit that subscribe button. That is a warning. Warning, 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 warning. I need you to jam that like button. Spam the like button. That is a warning. Warning, 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 warning. But yeah, we're here talking about Julio Foolio. Sad story, man. It's a sad story. I know that a lot of his ops are not gonna shed a tear for him, but it's a sad story. It's a very sad story. And how can we prevent it? How can we change the trendiness of people dissing deceased people? I think that needs to change in rap. You know, I think that it's a sad trend that has carried on for a very long time. I don't know when it started. I don't know who was the first rapper to start dissing the deceased. Was it Chief Keef? Was it I'm trying to think, who was it? Who was the first person who did it? I remember Chief Keef was doing it. He used to talk about Tuka all the time. But he since fallen back off of that. He don't really talk about Tuka no more. When people bring it up, he don't want to talk about it. He don't really. Now, when he's on stage, I don't know if he still says the lines, but he kind of strays away from it. He doesn't really say it like he used to. You know? But I don't know where it started. Where did it start? Who was the first person really running with that narrative of this and the deceased? Y'all talking about Tupac. No Reply says, Tupac, don't start that blasphemy again. Who's talking about Tupac? What's going on there talking about Tupac? Rest in peace to Tupac. Why am I so blurry? Hold on. Y'all give me a second. Hold on. Yeah, out of nowhere, I'm blurry now. My thing. I don't know why I'm so blurry now. I'm looking at myself on the camera. Why am I blurry? Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, man, you know, I just wanted to talk about this topic and get some type of opinions on how we could stop the next situation from happening like this. There's something that we need to do as a community to stop these things from occurring and happening. But those are just my thoughts, man. I just want to come in here and talk about this story for a little bit. I did a video on this. Make sure you check out the video. But again, I want you guys to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment on this video. I want to salute Nelly. I want to salute Fredro for stepping out tonight, helping me with the stream. I want to thank everybody in the chat right now. I'm going to see you guys, God willing, probably tomorrow we'll do a stream. It's very hot in my room. It's very hot. It's hot. I have to get a new AC. The AC in my room, it does not work. There's other rooms in my house that has AC, but the room that I do like on my YouTube streams, there's no AC in this room. So I'm very hot right now. So that's why, you know, I kind of stood on here as late as I could. So, I don't know how long I've been on here, but I've been on here for a hot minute. But I want to thank y'all guys for joining me. Again, condolences to Foolio's family. It's a sad situation, and I also want to say condolences to the families that he's dissed, because I know those families were hurting. I know those families were going through a lot of pain as well. So I want to say condolences to those families as well. But thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys for coming through to the stream and talking to me. And giving me your thoughts and your opinions. Again, I will see you guys on another stream, God willing. We are out. Y'all guys have a good night, man. We out of here, man.